Tomorrow now, they've already orchestrated this same plan to tell our brothers and sisters in the north that Peter Obi has said that it is a religious war, and they are going to say it in most of the mosques. Some of them are already being paid to do this. And I said to my brothers in the north, please, please, and please, look very deeply. I feel pain as a Muslim if my religion will be used to blackmail me, if my religion will be used to deceive me, if my religion will be used to lie on me, and then the same my religion will be used to govern me wrongly. For the past how many years that we have been in power, look at the same people who have put us in this perpetual poverty. We are still the same way. Our children are not going to school. Our people cannot go to their farms. People cannot travel from point A to point B. We have the largest number of poverty. We have the largest number of almajiri on the streets. And then these same leaders have not done anything to emancipate the northern people. But yet, they still go back to the same northern people and lie to them, manipulate them, tell them lies. And they will use our religion to deceive us. It is time we say no to those who are using this deliberately to put the Nigerian people, especially the people from the northern extraction, into abject poverty. And that is exactly what Peter Obi is out to fight. It's not about religion. This is the same man who said that don't vote for me because I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. Don't vote for me because I'm an Igbo man. Vote for me because I have the capacity and the competence to change the Nigerian state. And that's exactly what we are standing for. And we are asking that for the fact that for a very long time, these same people have put you in the same poverty line, would you start continuing to believe in their shenanigans and their lies and their concocted story? It is time to put a stop to it, and this is the best time to do it. I do believe that the Nigerian people, especially the northern people, do know the right thing from the wrong thing.
I speak with a sense of responsibility. In 2011, Lai Mohammed is part of APC. 2011, our dear president, and I respect the institution of the presidency, and I respect the person of the president, they didn't behave properly. The dogs and baboons were caught up in blood. Hundreds of core members, youth corpers, young, vibrant boys and girls serving this country were cut down in the prime of their life. Thousands of houses were razed across the north because they felt injured by the result of that 2011 election. And millions poured out in the street. Atiku hasn't done so, and neither has Obi done so. So for a government functionary like Lai Mohammed to speak about treason in faraway America is irresponsible. And for a revered relation, the Nobel laureate, we all respect him as a sage, as Kongi, to descend into the fray, having lost his moral compass in this particular circumstance, is equally very shocking for people like us who hold him in high esteem. So as we await the adjudication, adjudicatory processes unleashed by the judiciary from the tribunal to the Supreme Court, the debate must be robust. The engagement must be keen. Look at Paris. That's a doyen of European civilization, for months caught up in all these cycles of violence and petitions and protests and marches. That's the beauty of democracy. You can't shut down conversation. And for me, if the Bola Tinubu wing and the government of the day supporting it understand the robustness of this challenge, they should better focus their energy on it. If you try to throw, shade at people in terms of banning very strong words from the DSS about people trying to form interim government, issue of treason, issue of insurrection, unpack these three elements. Interim government is an arrangement only the government of the day can arrange. And treason is a potent word you don't wave around. If somebody is accused of treason, you must pick the person up and begin to interrogate to find out the conspirators, co-conspirators of that treasonable something. That people walk around free because they're Democrats who have persuaded themselves that they have to go through the judicial apparatus to seek for redress, and yet as a minister you're banning West treason and insurrection. That is meaningless.
Now let's turn to the elections tribunal and the legal challenges. You touched on it briefly that are coming up. I mean, some very well-respected lawyers, and no lesser person than the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olisa Abakoba, senior advocate of Nigeria.
If in this contestation, the entire political process, if there is any movement that has been very civil, it's the obedient movement, and I'll tell you why. We have not deployed ethnicity or religion in our debate and contestation. Those who tend to, or who are struggling effusively to brand us as unruly, are the ones who have threatened a particular ethnicity. They are the ones who do ethnic profiling. They are the ones who have divided and polarized our country. We are absolutely civil. And I tell you, when I saw that interview by my boy and mentor, and I say this with all sense of respect, I tell people that I may disagree with you on certain score, but it doesn't change what I feel about you. I listened to that interview by the great Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, and I wept for 3 reasons, and I'm going to put it out before Nigerians. My boy and mentor left issues about ethnic profiling, the killing of people and voter suppression in Lagos, and dwelt chiefly on Dati's comment about those who are interested in swearing a man whose mandate perhaps and the declaration of his election, his victory, does not tally with the provisions of our law as a problem. I felt very deeply offended. Then the second one, instead of talking about how those who were declared winners have not stopped the ethnic profiling, he called Dati and his statements a fascist. I felt very strange about it. Then I asked, is the man dead? Because he wrote a book long time ago, The Man Died in Him, Who Keeps Quiet in Times of Moral Crisis. I asked that question, and I'm asking that question again with all sense of humility. Let me tell you, in 2014-2015, I was the DG Change Ambassadors of Nigeria, one of the campaign arms of President Muhammadu Buhari. In 2014-2015, the APC, which is presently in power, said worse things than Dati has said. Indeed, my very senior colleague and the substantive Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today said that the APC was going to form a parallel government if the PDP were to be declared winners. Some others went as far as saying that it's clearly not like the democracy will die should the PDP be declared winners. And I wonder why we have all forgotten all that. And clearly we have the worst electoral larceny in our country's history. Clearly we have the worst electoral fraud in our country's history. Do you know what happened on the 25th of February and what happened on the 18th of March? Beatified Iwu's 2007 elections. That was an election that Yar'Adua openly admitted that was largely flawed. But that election comes to excellence when you juxtapose it with what happened on the February 25th and March the 18th. So why won't you beat a child and you refuse us the right to cry? You have asked us to go to court and we have gone to court and you're uneasy? What do they want?
They're saying don't heat up the politics. They are saying moderate what you say. And they are saying that wait for the courts to decide, which perhaps is the reason why Professor Wole Soyinka has requested for a debate with Dati Mohammed.
2014-2015, they didn't wait for the election before they started threatening.
Do you think that the running mates to the candidate Dati Ahmed will take up that offer from Professor Wole Soyinka?
Oh yes. The list, he will, and effectively so. The list of the obedience can take up that debate and do profoundly. And I know Professor Wole Soyinka, I know his mind. I know he won't go for that debate because the point is, history is replete with facts and figures. Do you know, with all sense of respect, some of us see him as our mentor because he understands the fact that disobedience of an unjust law is indeed the greatest respect for the law. And in 1965 or so, with a gun, he invaded a radio station and refused the announcement of Akintola as the winner of an election. History is such a beautiful spectacle. And I think that I implore my boy and the esteemed laureate to understand.
He was a young man then.
And so oblige the young people who are saying that on the mandate given to Peter Gregory Obi by the Nigerian people, they stand. Look, let me say this clearly. If you notice, Steve, a few weeks ago, about 5-6 days ago, about 7-8 days ago, you suddenly noticed a resurgence of militancy and banditry across our country It was in Bayelsa, it was in Katsina, Kaduna, Zamfara, and several places, and Kogi. Now, you wonder, was it the election that kept it down? The simple thing was that the Labour Party presented the greatest merchant of hope in our history after Abiola. The Labour Party presented the greatest merchant of hope in Africa after Mandela. So Nigerians were waiting at their different positions to see what happens if this hope can transform their lot and their lives. When those who are professionals in electoral larceny and malfeasance took the mandate, albeit it's a hot coal, they can't close their hands because we're going to take it back in the courts.